Good afternoon, everyone. This is Daniel, and I'm coming back on here to do a very popular interview question that is asked all over the place. If you live somewhere like the Midwest, like I do, I've been asked this question several times, especially when I was still applying for more junior level positions. I'm not a huge fan of this problem because I think it's overused and it's just sort of full of gotcha type questions um, that you may stumble on. And, when an interviewee is already nervous for writing code in front of an interviewer for the first time, a question full of gotchas probably might be more challenging for them. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Remember, if you like the video and it helps you out, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this infamous problem. It's called Fizz Buzz. Write a program that outputs the string representation of numbers from 1 to n, but for multiples of 3, it should output fizz instead of the number, and for the multiples of 5, output buzz. For numbers which are multiples of both 3 and 5, output fizz buzz. So with that being given to us, there's not a whole lot of clarifying questions that you can really ask here. Um, we can just go ahead and get started. Fizz buzz is oftentimes repeated just as it is. So the first thing we're looking at here, so we see that it wants us to return a list. So we are going to go ahead and create a array list so that we can just keep adding to it. So let's go ahead and do list. We want a list of strings. Here's one of the first gotchas in this question. You could probably see that it wants you to output the number where it says instead of the number, but at the end you want to output the numbers wherever you're not using fizz, buzz, or fizz buzz. But these numbers are wrapped in strings, so remember this is a list of strings. So we can call this um, uh, fizz buzz list. That's fine. And we're going to do new array list. All right. So now let's go ahead and iterate through the numbers. So let's go ahead and do for int I equals, here's the gotcha, 1. When you're approaching this problem, you might want to start from 0, but here this question says of numbers from 1 to n. So that's the second gotcha. Keep this in mind. We're going to do I is less than or equal to n, and we're going to iterate forward. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start adding things to our FizzBuzz list. So I'm going to create the very first condition, and I'm going to give us some room to make it a little bit easier to read. I'm going to do if I modulo 5 equals 0, and I modulo 3 equals 0. We are going to add to our FizzBuzz list. I think it asked for Fizz Buzz. I'm touch typing a little bit right now. Actually, I'm not touch typing right now as much as I normally do because I just got a new keyboard. But what we first did was we looked at this condition that said for numbers which are multiples of both 3 and 5, output Fizz Buzz. So we check that here, and we're going to add Fizz Buzz. Else if um, we can do I modulo 3 equals 0. I think that asked for adding multiples of 5, output buzz, multiples of 3, we should do fizz, so we'll do fizz here. Else if I modulo 5 equals 0, we're going to do fizz buzz list dot add buzz. All right, and then the last part is we want to just go ahead and add the number if um, we didn't print Fizz Buzz, Fizz or Buzz. Else, we'll do Fizz Buzz list dot add. Here's where that original gotcha comes into play. Um, you might stumble on this and do something like that where you'll add I. But remember, I is a number, so you can't do that. It wants a string of the number. So we're going to do integer to string, and in there we will place I. Awesome. So that's it. And then at the end, make sure you do not forget to return Fizz Buzz list, or whatever you decide to call it. So let's go ahead and run this and see what it returns. All right, let's run it against all of the test cases. All right, so we have successfully solved Fizz Buzz. Again, this is a problem that you may see very often, especially if you're not applying to a uh, a more technology focused company. So, uh, a company where technology might not necessarily be the product. This is just a very popular interview question, and in my opinion, a little bit overused. But now that you know how to solve it, do not fear it. Just be sure that you look out for some of these, um, you know, gotcha type situations that you might ignore otherwise. So I hope this helped you guys out, and yeah, so have a great day.